499 was broken, so 501 will be broken, but let's see after how many years, because my record was broken after 35 years, and this one, 501 records has to be broken, I think, and it's good for the game. On my days there was no television, and I don't know myself how I used to play, but I could only listen to the people that they explain my innings, and that's all I have, only the memories. When people praise me and say you were a great batsman in your days and all this, so I disagree with them, and I also say that I had nothing much. I had only solid, good concentration, and because of that, I got so many.
Test cricket is a 146-year-old sport. There have been close to 2,500 test matches. And there are incidents in the past that beggars belief at first, but are indeed true. One such event is the superhuman effort put in by the late Hanif Mohammad, known by the sobriquet Little Master, which after defying West Indies of a certain win, ended on this very day in 1958. The occasion is the inception of the Pakistan-West Indies Test rivalry. In the first ever test played between the two nations in Barbados, the home side mounted a mammoth total of 579 before declaring with 1 wicket in hand. In response, Pakistan were bowled out for a paltry 106 around lunch on day 3. The visitors had their backs against the wall, more so because it was a 6-day match, which made their task of saving the game even more stiffer. Having bowled only 42.2 overs to bowl Pakistan out, the West Indies enforced the follow-on. A deficit of 473 runs, 3.5 days to bat. First test in alien conditions of the West Indies. There was a feeling that only one result was possible from there on. However, a certain Hanif Mohammad had some different ideas, based on his unwavering concentration powers. And this is how the scoreboard moved then onwards. Pakistan finished day 3 at 162 for 1, and Mohammad was unbeaten on 61. Hanif batted through the entire day 4, vindicating the trust the skipper had shown in him. He added another 100 to his overnight score, heading back to 161 not out at stumps. And Pakistan had just lost 1 wicket, finishing the day at 339 for 2. Yet again, Hanif batted throughout the day, and Pakistan lost just 1 wicket, finishing the day at 525 for 3. And Pakistan avoided an innings defeat, leading by 52 runs, but West Indies were still favourites to win the test. Hanif Mohammad at this moment in time was 270 not out. Like a true warrior, obedient to his superior in a war, Hanif was unbeaten at tea on day 6 with 334 runs against his name. The fact that he walked back to the dressing room with his skipper Kardar must have made the tea break even more satisfying. He had scored 337, putting Pakistan ahead by 153 runs with less than 1 session left at the time of his dismissal. Moreover, he had batted 970 minutes, 16 hours and 10 minutes precisely, which to date stands tall as the longest innings in Test cricket history. 65 years on, Hanif's record for the longest Test knock has fittingly stood the test of time. Before him, the record belonged to Len Hutton's 797-minute effort at the Oval in 1938. Since Hanif's 337, the longest Test knock is Gary Kirsten's 878-minute long innings versus England in 1999. But there is no other instance of anyone batting for over 900 minutes in an innings. It is one of the two triple tons in the second innings of a Test match, Brendan McCullum's 302 versus India in 2014 being the other. And it is the only triple hundred while following on. VVS Lakshman, remember, came close with his 281 in Kolkata in 2001. And the fact that Hanif Mohammad was just 23 years old at the time of forging that epic makes it more unbelievable for the millennials and the Gen Zs today.
Hi, I'm Sunil Gavaskar. Hanif Mohammad was one of my great heroes. Being an opening batter himself and me being a budding opening batter, I loved to watch him bat. Obviously, we didn't get too many opportunities. There was just one opportunity that I got when Pakistan came to India in 1960. He was batting 128 overnight. And I went the next day to watch him bat, and he got 160. He added another 30 runs. But to see him bat, to see him twirl his bat and then take stance, and even as he took stance, to see that little twirl was absolutely delightful. I tried to do that, but every time I twirled the bat, my bat would go back to front. So I gave up that twirl. But there was so much to learn from Hanif Saab. To be able to, stay at the wicket, to be able to tire the bowlers out, show patience. It was so much. And as far as technique was concerned also, he was simply amazing. Later on, in Sharjah, in London, we met a number of times, and it was always a delight to be able to meet Hanif Saab and speak with him. I understand that the Karachi Parsi Institute is celebrating his 499 runs that he got on their ground. I want to congratulate the Karachi Parsi Institute for this initiative, because these kind of scores are very, very rare. Only two people have got there. One is Hanif Saab, and after that I think it was Brian Lara who got a 501. So congratulations to the Karachi Parsi Institute for celebrating a legend, a true legend's great legendary achievement. And may you have a wonderful evening. And remember that Hanif Saab was one of the greatest cricketers that the world has seen.
I played against Hanif Mohammad in 1964 in two games. The game against South Australia, where he made 100 in his only innings, and then in the Test match at the MCG, where he made 100 and he was out stumped for 93, I think, 94, and given out incorrectly. So I could easily have played against Hanif, scoring a century in every innings. He was a damn fine player. He played all the shots at the MCG. I remember him hooking, playing all the shots. And I then met Sonny Gavaskar in 96 at the World Cup, and he said, pointed to the little guy and he said, "That's the real little master over there." And he was pointing to Hanif Mohammad. A great player. I'm not surprised he made 499, but he must have been out by a long way for a Pakistani umpire to give him run out.
It is indeed a great honor and a pleasure for me to talk about great Hanif Mohammad. He was my captain actually. I still remember very clearly the inning which he played at KPI. He got 499. In fact, I was dropped in that match, so I was asked to do the scoring. So I remember very clearly, and because I was scoring, so I watched every single run he scored. What a great opener he was. I would say that he was a great planner, great concentration, determination. He was a fantastic, complete cricketer that I have come across. I remember way back in 1964 when the Pakistan team went to Australia, first time ever. We played only one test match at Melbourne and we played two side matches. In the only test match which we played at Melbourne, he got 100 in the first inning, and then in the second inning he scored 98 and he was given out when he wasn't out. You know, that was really great pity the way he was given out. And a lot of criticism came the next morning in the newspapers. And he would have created a history actually, scoring 100 in each inning in Australia. And then I remember way back in 1967 at Lord's when he scored 167 runs. I was a part of that team also. So what an inning it was. And then in 1958 actually, when he got 300 at Barbados, I wasn't a part of that team, but I remember that. I don't think you will come across such a great technically batsman. And when he got 499, if you could see in his bat, every ball hit the middle of the bat. There were hardly any edges on the bat. That speaks that his technique as a batsman and also determination mentally and physically was extremely fit. And I pay a great tribute to this great master.
Me to give my views on the little master Hanif Mohammad. He was undoubtedly the best batsman Pakistan has ever produced. He started his career as a wicketkeeper for Pakistan and later on as an opening batsman. When I played my first test match at Lord's in 1967, Hanif Mohammad was the captain. He told me that on this wicket the English bowlers will not get him out. And that came true. He scored a magnificent century against John Snow and the English bowlers. The other thing about his greatness was that having been associated with Hanif for a very long time, I never saw him play with the pads. It was always the bat. Undoubtedly, he was the greatest batsman Pakistan has ever produced. And the title given to him as a little master has come true. I hope he gets a place in Jannah. Thank you very much.
हेलो जी, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। मैं हूं वसीम अकरम। केपीआई को मेरी तरफ से बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया और मुबारकबाद। बड़ा ज़बरदस्त माइलस्टोन आप लोग सेलिब्रेट करने जा रहे हैं। वन ऑफ द ग्रेटेस्ट प्लेयर पाकिस्तान टीम के, द ग्रेट हनीफ मोहम्मद, द ओरिजिनल लिटिल मास्टर। मैंने उनके साथ बड़ा टाइम गुजारा है। शुरू में जब क्रिकेट शुरू की, शोएब से बड़ी दोस्ती थी और बड़े ज़बरदस्त बंदे भी थे। और ऐसा प्लेयर, मेरा मतलब वो टाइम से अहेड थे जब वो क्रिकेट खेलते थे। लंबी इनिंग्स और 499 आप लोग सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं। कितने अरसे बाद, डेकेड्स बाद रिकॉर्ड तोड़ा ब्रायन लारा ने। तो ये क्वालिटी और क्लास थी हनीफ भाई की। तो आप सबको बहुत बहुत मुबारक एंड ऑल द वेरी बेस्ट। आई एम ग्लैड यू आर सेलिब्रेटिंग दिस अमेजिंग माइलस्टोन एंड ऑफ कोर्स थैंक्स टू क्यू भाई जिन्होंने आपके साथ मिलकर ये ऑर्गेनाइज किया। अनफॉर्चुनेटली आई वोंट बी एबल टू मेक इट, आई एम इन ऑस्ट्रेलिया, बट ऑल द वेरी बेस्ट एंड ग्रेट जॉब वंस अगेन ऑल ऑफ यू।
My congratulations to Karachi Parsi Institute for celebrating Hanif Mohammad's record-breaking 499 runs at KPI. I'm honored to have played with him at test and domestic level. Hanif was no doubt the greatest batsman of our time.
Hello, this is Farooq Engineer. I'm hugely privileged to have been asked to do a little piece, to do a little video for KPI. KPI is very close to my heart, Karachi Parsi Institute. In fact, I didn't realize that Hanif scored that mammoth score on the KPI ground. I was delighted to hear. The Hanif family, the Mohammad family, have been very close to me since I grew up, because when I toured Pakistan under Indian starlets, Lala Manat had taken a team, we played against Pakistan Eaglets, where Mushtaq Mohammed and Hanif's younger brother played. And Mushtaq and my careers have been sort of alongside when he played for Northamptonshire and I played for Lancashire for 10 years. So, I mean, the Mohammed family and I have been very close. I was invited for dinner to Mushi and Hanif's house in Karachi, which and the hospitality that I received, especially from the Parsi community there in Karachi, was overwhelming. They almost made me miss my flight on PIA. There happened to be a Parsi captain who delayed the plane by a few minutes and to get me in. So Karachi, it was a real shame that the war between India and Pakistan prevented me from going and playing in Pakistan, because I would have loved playing there, and especially so many talented Pakistani cricketers like Zahir Abbas, Asif Masood, and all. We played together for the World 11. Zahir Abbas, in fact, was my roommate when India and Pakistan were fiercely at war. And there was a big picture in the Sydney Times, me sort of twiddling Zahir Abbas's moustache, and there was a big headline, India-Pakistan war? Big question mark. Which made a mockery of it all, really. So I wish all the Parsis at KPI and everyone in Pakistan, I wish to convey my good wishes for this occasion, for this auspicious occasion. How can you forget an occasion like this when Hanif Mohammad scored all those runs? He was everybody's idol. Hanif was a class cricketer, a class act. And I'm glad my friend Sunil Gavaskar and Ian Chappell and all have contributed as well towards your event. I wish your event all the success. My warmest regards to the Mohammed family, and I salute KPI once again for having taken the initiative to hold this event. In fact, Parsis started the cricket in India initially, and it was the Parsis who first toured England with the Indian, as an Indian team. And it was the Parsis who actually beat the British in India for the first time. And I was privileged to be part of the Parsis as part of the Indian team to have beaten England in 71 for the first time. So the Parsis have contributed a lot in sport, in cricket especially. It's sad to see that there's no other Parsi after me, playing Test cricket for India or for Pakistan. I'm sick and tired of hearing my name as the last Parsi to have played. I would love someone to break my record. So come on, Parsis, wake up. I'm sure there's one at the KPI who can emulate Hanif in that big total and make our community proud.
First, we fielded first, and our bowling was bowler bowled well and got them out, and our team batted. Hanif Mohammad was not out 25 on the first day of the game.
Okay, so Hanif is 25 not out at the end of the first day. That's when the world record becomes this possibility. Any special instructions or guidance did you give to Hanif?
No, on that day, I thought this is the time. Yes. The ground is very fast. One side is a hockey ground, this, that. So if Hanif can stand and concentrate, he can break the world record, because he is already...
Okay, so at the end of the second day, Hanif is on 255 not out, with a rest day to come. So what did you discuss with Hanif at that time?
On the rest day, we were talking, I was talking to him that, now look, this is the time, he is rest day, you are already in the game, you are set, and more concentration, you will get runs. This is time to break the world record.
I think the calculation has started in his mind. What was that? Now, because he's 255 not out on the second day, and he's still got 2 days to go. Hello, everybody. This is Mushtaq Muhammad from Birmingham, England, talking to you. I have been asked by my very good friend, Mr. Qamar Ahmed, the journalist, who has asked me to share my feelings about the world record my elder brother Hanif Mohammad has created during 1958 at Karachi Parsi Institute, that ground. And I believe you're having some kind of a function today in which this great achievement has to be mentioned, because it was a world record being created by Hanif Mohammad. Actually, it was the brainchild of my other brother, the eldest brother, Wazir Mohammad. He has been thinking about this for last 2 or 3 days, and has been talking to to Hanif at home, and that how he can go about to create this record 3 days prior to the match, really. And I have listened to all this conversation between my two elder brothers, Wazir Mohammad and Hanif. Wazir keep telling him that Karachi Parsi Institute is a very good ground, got a good wicket, and on one side of the wicket is a grass portion, it's all grass, and the other side of the wicket is a hockey field where they play hockey, and that was clay, and been a lot of sand was on it, was sprinkled on that, and this is how the hockey ground was prepared in those days. So that portion of the ground was the quickest outfield you could ever think of. So bearing that in mind, Wazir has told Hanif that this is the ideal chance for you to go for the world record, and then they start making all the plans about it and how he's going to approach it. And every day when the match started, he did tell him that by the end of the first day, he should be really about 170, 180 not out, and or over 200, and then continue that thing on the next day morning and keep going, using that outfield, the hockey field, to his advantage. And Hanif, and actually, I have also played in that match.
I was fortunate enough to have played under the captaincy of Little Master Hanif Mohammad. And I would say that not only I was fortunate to play under his captaincy, but I was very lucky to have also participated in a partnership batting with him at Lord's in 1967 to save a test match that we were heading towards losing. And that's when I realized what a great batsman Hanif Bhai has been. The way he was tackling the moving ball off the wicket, middling it every time. And that is when I really felt that, there is no doubt whatsoever that his title of Little Master is absolutely deserving.